Alright everyone, so today we're going to be talking about the total rewards for Dark Dimension 5. And now I know that, this may come a little bit of a surprise to you guys because most of us aren't even in there yet, so why is Boilon talking about that? You guys may have remembered I did a previous video about talking about pocket dimensions, the values of pocket dimensions, and I compared that to Dark Dimension 4. So we have those spreadsheets already, and we'll take a quick review on that before we jump over to Dark Dimension 5, and I want to do it in a very similar nature because we had a lot of that stuff already available as the Teal Gear rewards from Pocket Dimensions. So I already broke that down previously, but now I want to break it down for all of the stuff that we're getting out of Dark Dimension 5, so we can figure out how much gold value are you getting out of Dark Dimension 5, both on the first clear, the second clear, all of it combined, and also what is it worth in terms of offers. Now I know a lot of us don't buy these crazy obscene offers that Scopely throws at us, but hypothetically, if you were to buy everything that there is in these offers, how much would that cost? And that's what I want to share with you all today. So without further ado, let's get this show started. Okay, so this spreadsheet here that you guys might remember, we did this when we were talking about pocket dimensions during that. Now, I'm not going to go through this in its entirety. I broke it down by first run, second run. I broke down the gear that you got, how many pieces of gear, both in the orange G15 full gear, the teal G16 full gear, how much this was worth. It was a lot. By the way, the 3 teal gear pieces alone is worth approximately 56 million gold if you were to buy all the pieces from the supply store. So there's that. I'll just share with you that kind of really quickly. And at the end of the day, Pocket Dimensions itself was worth actually a grand total, if you cleared it twice, a grand total of 271 million gold in terms of the store value. And as far as US dollar value, offer value went, it was almost about $3,700. So this is quite a bit. Now, once again, like I said in the intro, I don't expect people I don't expect anyone really to go out and buy, a significant portion of these offers that are available. They're available in a lot of different ways. If you were to actually click on the item that you're looking for, there's sometimes what they call hidden offers, and so that's where you would find specific items like uniques or certain minis. You can buy them like individually in what they call the hidden offers because they're not actually in the offer section. But if you click on the find button, it'll give you like obscene offers for certain pieces. So that's available there. One thing that I didn't really calculate with this was the per node stuff or per run node stuff, and that's why I have this listed here. As far as Pocket Dimensions goes, that was 8 training orbs, 1.35 million gold per run, so this is actually 2.7 million gold. Silver promos, superior basic catalysts, all of this stuff below really isn't all that useful because I don't think that it can be really equated very well here, especially like just random blue ISO orbs, things like that. So I didn't include that there. So there were a few things missing. Now, I did the exact same thing for Dark Dimension 4 because that video did discuss the differences between Pocket Dimensions and Dark Dimension 4 in terms of how much money that it would be worth. And, basically we'll just go straight to the breakdown because this is not about Dark Dimension 4. We're here to talk about Dark Dimension 5. And at the end of the day, if you did both runs of Dark Dimension 4, given current prices like now in the supply store, you'd be getting about 712 million gold worth of resources. Pretty crazy, isn't it? That like when you really break it down, like obviously you're not spending 712 million gold in the supply store, but if you were to buy all of this stuff, that's exactly how much you would spend in gold. Now, as far as US dollars goes, you can see that here, and that's almost 12,000 US dollars at the end of the day, calculating all of the offers, all of the gear, all of that you get from Gear 15 full pieces, all of the catalysts, all of the random orange gear, all of the uniques, all of this stuff, that's how much it was worth. Now, when we get into the Dark Dimension 5 chart, the reason why this changes quite significantly is because of teal gear. You don't get any orange gear at all in Dark Dimension 5. It's all teal gear pieces, and this really bumps up the cost here because I'm sure you guys are buying teal gear pieces in the supply store. They're very, very expensive. I think one unique is 125k, and all the other origin gear, minis, all of that is quite expensive in the supply store, and we'll go over that as well. And again, just like the Pocket Dimensions, I didn't include some of the stuff that you get on the node. So for Dark Dimension 4, you get 3 million gold per run. Actually, Yeah, you get quite a bit of gold orbs, actually. You get 35 gold orbs. This is probably something I could have equated to a dollar value here. And as far as millions of gold goes, that's probably, you get, what, on average, like 180k gold, I think, per gold orb. So this is actually a fair bit of extra gold. This is probably at least another 5 to 6 million gold on top of that per run. So you get quite a bit of good stuff, actually, in Dark Dimension 4. The 4 Mega Orbs, not that significant. 800 T4s and 4 Elite 5s. So that's pretty good as far as Dark Dimension 4. And Dark Dimension 5 is actually quite similar. It's just improved a little bit on that in terms of the amount of gold that you get. So that's what we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about Dark Dimension 5. So I've queued up all the way to the top here, and let's talk about the different breakdowns here. So this is going to be the first run, and I broke this down in a very similar way because it's very easy. We have the gold value column, the total amount of items that you get. And what I do want to say, what's really good about Dark Dimension 5 compared to Dark Dimension 4 and Dark Dimension 3, it gave you actually the specific amount of breakdown items that you get. Now, some of them is randomized a little bit because it just says Teal Origin. You get like this many Teal Origin pieces, you get this many Teal Minis, ABCs, but it does actually give you the right amount. I think, like, the specific amount. When it came to Dark Dimension 3, it just said you get like 4,800 pieces of like all of this. So it was really hard to break down, actually. Here's the total gold value column. The MISC value is the US dollar value. There's one thing that I couldn't figure out, and this was the Teal Uniques. This is like your augmented miasma, stuff like that. I think that they did have an offer in the store, but I couldn't recall what this cost. And so I could not put a value to this. So when we're talking about the total dollar value, it's without the Teal Uniques, because for whatever reason, I went back, I tried to scour through some history, I couldn't actually find it. When you click on the find button for Teal Uniques, like augmented miasma, things like that, it doesn't actually come up as a hidden offer. So it's one thing that actually isn't available as a hidden offer. Everything else is, so it was a lot easier to find the value for that. So as far as those Teal Uniques go, you do get 72 on the first run. You actually get 72 on the second run. But as far as how much that's valued at, they cost about 125k, like I mentioned earlier. So the total gold value for that's 9 million. Again, don't really know the dollar price here, but you get a significant, and I'm going to zoom in because I can zoom in. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place, my bad. So now it looks a bit easier to see. So the Teal Catalyst, you're getting 3,200 on the first run, 800 Teal ABCs, Teal Origin, 4,800 of those pieces, and then 360 Teal Minis. Now these are like essentially the G14 Minis, but in Teal format, in case you guys don't know what it means to be a Teal Mini. But in terms of the total gold value, you're seeing a significant chunk of this in Teal Catalyst and Teal Origin. So all of this, I added this all up, and this gives us a subtotal for just the Teal pieces of 431 million gold on the first run. Just that alone. Okay, this doesn't even count the gear. We're going to talk about the total resources that you're getting from the full gear in a minute, and the total dollar value of this. If you were to hypothetically buy all of this in the offer form, which is unlikely because it's a lot of shit, right? There's a lot of items here, but if you were to buy all of this, it would cost you about 4,200 US dollars, give or take. You know, 4,202. So rounding down, that's 4,200. Let's talk about the Teal Gear 16 full pieces, because you're getting 10 on the first run. And if you remember my chart for Pocket Dimensions, you get 3, or you had 3 per pass, right, on that one. So it was a grand total of 6. You get a little bit more on the Teal Gear on the second run. But as far as what this is worth, I broke this down, because basically for the Teal Catalyst, you need about 100 of these per piece. The Teal ABCs, this is where it gets complicated. So what I had to do is I had to make some assumptions. So here you see in the notes, it says not all armor pieces require the Teal ABCs, because if you notice, you can go into your own roster and check each of the characters. Not all the gear pieces require Teal ABCs. So what I did is I made this assumption that at least half of them required Teal ABCs, so that's how I calculated to how many ABCs you got as an equivalency for this full gear. Now, I don't know in the game how many of the gear pieces actually require ABCs and what they don't. It could actually only be a third of them total overall. I haven't checked MSF.gg. I'll admit that was a bit of a shortcut for me because, you know, otherwise it would have taken me a lot longer. So this could be lower, this could be higher, the value of this, I don't know, but this was the easiest thing for me. And so the total value of all of the gear pieces that you would get, all of the resources from these total 10 gear pieces, is equivalent to about 187 million gold. And so this is quite a bit. It's not as much though as the 431 that you're seeing above. So if you subtotal all of this and you get the run 1 total, you add the dollar values, you add that together, you're getting about 618 million gold from the first run, and about $6,173, you know, maybe $6,200 rounding up, you know, for what that value is for just the first run of Dark Dimension 5. Just think about that for a moment, that, you know, you're saving yourself, it's not hypothetical actually, you are saving yourself 618 million gold if you were to buy all this shit from the supply store, which would obviously take you a very long time, which is why they have this, why this exists, because this gives you a huge influx of extra gear for you to do in the future, you know, not only for your second run, but also just down the line, you know, upgrading characters to gear tier 16. That's what Dark Dimension is really about, because that really pushes you and gives you a significant amount of extra resources. But when you really break it down like this and you think about it, that you're getting 620 million gold for one run, that's just absolutely nuts. So now we get to look at run 2, and this changes in a little way, and that's why actually you'll start to see that I have some shades here. So when you see something that is in red, that means you're actually getting less. So when you have green, you're getting more. It's a bit weird. So teal uniques is the same. You're getting 72 on the second run, but now let's look. Teal catalyst, you're getting 1600 on the second pass. This is a bit strange. So when you go up, you're actually getting 3200 on the first run. So you're getting half as much for teal catalyst on the second run. Why is this? I'm actually not sure. I don't know why this was intended. It does kind of even itself out when we get to when we talk about the teal gear, because you're actually getting 15 gear pieces rather than 10. But I'm not sure what the philosophy was on giving us less of the gear pieces here. Now on the teal ABCs, and maybe this is where it evens out. You know, 2400 teal ABCs here on the second run. You're only getting 800 on the first run, so you're actually getting 3 times as much when it comes to the teal ABCs on that second run, so that's good, I guess, and the value goes up there. The teal origin pieces, again, 2400 there on the second run, but on the first run you get here is 4800, so it's half as much there. So it's not as much as the 3 times less here on the teal catalyst, though, or sorry, half as much on the teal catalyst. Wait, that's about the same. They're both half as much. Why they do that, I don't know. The teal minis, 864 compared to 360 on run 1. So it's quite a bit of a difference there. Almost about 2.25 times more on the teal minis. And so you can see here that both on the ABCs and the minis that you get more of them on the second run. It just doesn't really make sense. Like, why doesn't everything? Because normally, if you looked at the Dark Dimension 4 total numbers of the items that you got, they all went up on the second run. So I don't understand why some went up, some went down. It was kind of weird, but if you compare the subtotals for the total gold value here on these items, you get 367 million gold. So let's compare that to run 1. It's actually less. So run 2 is actually less of a total gold value than run 1 here in the what you call the parts section. These are just the pieces section, not including the gear. So the gear value does go up, obviously, because you're getting 15 instead of 10, so that's going to be about 50% more. But what's weird here is that, yeah, it does go down on the second pass, and it seems a bit strange to me personally. So the total gold value, sorry, the total US dollar value of the second run is about 3,900 rounding up. Now, like I said, I don't have the value of the teal unique, so what could happen is if I were to add this in, it's actually a lot more. I'm just not sure what the value of an individual teal unique is at this point because I couldn't find the offer. I think there is an offer that exists for this, but it's not there all the time, and I guess I have an offer section actually in my Discord channel, but I didn't have it in there, so I don't know. I couldn't find it. So my apologies there, but it's still a lot of money, right? If you were to buy all this stuff. Let's talk about the full teal gear 16 gear again. So you get 15, you're getting 50% more, you're going from 10 to 15 now, and you're getting a grand total of 25 of them over the full course of Dark Dimension 5, which is pretty good. Now, I'm not going to do the rundown here again. We're going to talk about the subtotal for that. So that's 280 million gold from these 15 gear pieces. That's up from 187 million on run 1's 10 pieces. So that's pretty good. Now, if you get the total, the timed run total, you add the pieces subtotal with the gear subtotal, you get 650. I'm going to round up here. 650 million gold. Now, let's compare that to run 1. It's actually not significantly higher. And I think that's because of whatever happened here in the second run that kind of reduced the amount of stuff that you're getting. So you're going from 618 to 650. Oops, I kind of spoiled that at the bottom if you saw that really quickly. We're going to talk about that, though. So in terms of the dollar value, that's $6,800 for the second run. Now, total Dark Dimension 5 value, 1.26 billion gold. believe it or not, we've actually surpassed the 1 billion threshold for gold value for all the resources that you're getting from Dark Dimension 5. And this is the first time that it exceeds the 1 billion mark in terms of what you're getting out of just anything. Whether it's an event reward, whether it's a Dark Dimension reward, I've never seen over 1 billion. I don't know if you guys have seen that Dragon Ball Z meme, you know, where Vegeta has the scouter on, you know, this is over 9,000. This is over 1 billion, you know, because that's exactly what's happening here. You know, this is just such a crazy, obscene amount of gold that you're getting here. I can't believe it's this high, to be honest. 1.26 billion gold over. That's over 1,000 million, right? You know, because we can do numbers. That's like 1,266 million gold. 1,266 million gold, or in this case, 1.26 billion. Okay, so I just really had to put that out there. In terms of the dollar value, though, we're talking about 13,000 US dollar value here. This is a lot. And this does not include the augmented uniques, the augmented miasma, shield tech, phoenix energy, all that stuff, right? Astral energy. It's not included that. That's a lot. Just really think about it. Now, I know we haven't cleared it. Most, you know, 99% of the people watching this video, you know, haven't cleared it. I haven't cleared it. I haven't even entered. But the point is that this total gold value is very unlikely to change. This is likely what it's going to be. I don't see the value, the gold value in the store changing for teal gear for quite some time. It took a very long time for orange gear to change. So that in mind, I think that this is going to be the value going forward for quite a while before they adjust teal gear, which honestly I think is going to be it's going to be way down the line. So that's crazy to think about, that we're actually getting this much. But what I didn't include, just like I talked about the other ones, is the per run stuff. So you're actually getting a lot more than you did in Dark Dimension 4. I think DD4 was 3 million per run in terms of flat gold from the nodes. Now it's 7.5 million. So over the 2 runs, that's actually an additional 15 million gold that you can do what you want. There's still the 35 gold orbs. So over both runs, that's 70 gold orbs, which again is a lot of gold. This is a lot of gold for you to do with what you want. But comparatively, that 20 million gold or 25, you know, with the gold orbs is frankly, you know, is buttons compared to the 1.26 billion that you're getting out of the supply store. You know, you're not spending that much in the supply store, but this is how much. If you were to buy it from the supply store, you're getting 1.26 billion worth of resources. So now you don't need to do that because you're getting it all here, and you can spend it on characters, leveling up your characters. Your insane amount of new characters that's coming at you every patch. So there's that, and the 4 Elite 5 orbs, that's the same. 800 T4s, that's the same. 4 Mega Orbs, that's also the same. So what do you all think about this? What do you think about this number? Are you blown away? Because to be honest, when I finished the spreadsheet, I felt kind of blown away, you know, that we were getting this much resources. Now, I know, like I said, we're not there yet, but we will get there. And when we do, we will be getting a lot of money worth of resources per run. 618 run 1, 650 run 2, 1.26 billion by the end of it. So that's the end of this video. Let me know what you think, and of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.